is up, players? My name is Mike Doherty, and you're watching Fat and Angry. Now, for those of you who don't know and who aren't up to date on the Twitter sphere and what's going on with Chiptooth Gaming, Doherty Report is going to be on hold right now. I'm trying to figure out how to workshop that show, make it a little more fun to do and to edit and shoot and just everything. I'm just trying to find out what that show can be. So in the meantime, Fat and Angry is going to take over as the weekly show alongside our Let's Plays and our podcast for Chiptooth Gaming. So what is Fat and Angry? Fat and Angry is going to be a show where I get the cameras, I get the lights, I get the mic, and I just rant to you in the camera or just talk to you. It doesn't have to be a rant. It doesn't have to be a very angry thing. Just whatever subject I want to talk about. Maybe it's something from the news in that week, because I will be recording these on weekends. Something from that week I want to talk about, that will be your daily Monday show, or just a life antidote, a life story. Now, if something breaks throughout the week and it's a hot piece of news, I'll cover it. I'll cover it right then, and you'll get several Fat and Angries throughout the week. If the subject is that hot of the topic. So, for example, with the whole Notch situation, with Notch donating the $10,000 to a charity, that sounds great, right? No, everybody goes after him because he's a little right-leaning, he's kind of a dick sometimes, so people like to attack him, and especially because he's right-leaning, they attack him a little more than they would a normal asshole. Topics like these I will cover, and if you want to see me cover a topic, leave me the topic down below in the comments. Go ahead and tweet me at Cheeks_Jr. or CTGVids at CTGVids on Twitter. Go and get your topics in. I want to talk about things that you want to hear about. And this is for everything, guys. For the podcasts, for the Let's Plays. Let us know what you want to see, and we will implement it ASAP. So talking about topics that were picked by the Chiptooth Gaming community and things that you want to hear me talk about, I'm going to be talking about my experience with Kinda Funny and going on the Kinda Funny Games cast and Kinda Funny Live 3. So for those of you who don't know, I'm going to catch you up here. So this might be a little bit of a long video. I'm going to try to go fast here, speed up past the parts that aren't really me dealing directly with Kinda Funny, but I do want to give my background with them and how long I've been following them and why this is important to me. So the story goes, I'm in middle school. My whole life, you know, up until that point, which I'm really young in middle school, of course, I want to work in the video games industry. I don't know how to work in the video games industry because I realized three things when I realized I wanted to work in the video game industry. I was like, yeah, I want to do art. I want to do art for video games. I want to make the art. I want to design everything, do the environments. That would be super cool. This is elementary school Mikey talking. And then I take some art classes and I realize, oh, fuck. I'm really bad at art. I can't draw. Like, I'm terrible at drawing. I have no artistic taste whatsoever. Like, this isn't going to work out. I can't do art. Oh, wait. I can program. I'll do the programming side of video games. This is like 6th grade Mikey. Oh yeah, programming. I'll do programming. And then I got a programming book and I looked at how to program and I go, oh man, like I'm really bad at math. Like I can't do math at all. So I'm sitting there in my middle school classroom, computer classroom, bored out of my mind. I don't have anything to do. I never do my work in that class because it's a computer class. Nobody really does that work. And I'm sitting there, I'm scrolling through the web, I'm browsing everything, and then I come across a little website you may know as IGN.com. And on IGN.com, I click on a video, and no, MP3 at the time, and it was Podcast Beyond. And I thought this was interesting, and I listened to it, and oh my gosh, like, this was awesome. Like, this was, like, this is what I want to do. I want to talk about video games. These guys get paid to sit down and talk about video games. That's the way I saw it. I know they did more. I know they wrote at the time. Greg hosted a lot of things. But in my mind, I saw, man, they're sitting down and they're getting paid to podcast, which wasn't the case at all. But that's what my mind condensed it down to. And I was like, I want to do this. So I'm middle school. I go, yeah, finally, I found out. I want to hear more of these guys. These guys are great. So I go back. That was an old video. And I go back through the whole backlog of Podcast Beyond. That's a lot of episodes. At that point, I think, what episode was that? I think it was right after 150. So right after 150, so I do 150 episodes backlogged just in this computer class. And then I listen to it at home. I'm really into it. And then I realize, oh crap, they put these out weekly. Like these guys, they're still doing this. So they got me from that point on. I was a big Greg Miller fan, big Colin Moriarty fan, Ryan Clements, just like diehard Podcast Beyond fan. At the time, not even an IGN fan. And then I started going to the site, and I started using the site and reading the articles, blah, 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 from on there. In high school, I get to high school, and I realized, okay, I want to do video games coverage. I want to talk about video games for a living. My brother-in-law, Chris Barrett, shout out to Chris Barrett, he was a video production major. And so I asked them, I begged them, I was like, Chris, can you please help me out with a YouTube channel? I want to do a YouTube channel. I want to do a gaming YouTube channel. And he says, awesome, yeah. To his credit, I was a little kid, and he was much older than me, marrying my sister, and he was totally down and totally supportive, and he taught me how to do things. And this is where the base of Chiptooth Gaming comes from, is this little channel I called PlayStation Conversation. Complete ripoff of the IGN PlayStation Conversation that they did. I made a whole channel out of it because I didn't know how to do it. So I would take little things that were familiar to me, and I would try to make them my own. So I took the name PlayStation Conversation, and I tried, the first video was an E3 press conference, Sony press conference. I covered that. I did a little video. The link will actually be down below to those videos because I think they're really good videos. I think they're better than my videos I make now. But I go to a Last of Us midnight launch release. And I bring my brother-in-law Chris with me, I bring my friend Connor, and I bring my friend KB. And we all go to this GameSpot, and we're all waiting outside to get The Last of Us, and we're filming a video, and I have a Beyond shirt on, and we ended up getting Oreos, and this is right in the beginning of Oreo Ration, and I'm a big fat guy with glasses, so that right there, like, just makes me look like Greg Miller, apparently. But I tweet this out to Greg after, like, it's all edited and uploaded, and he retweets it. And then he comments, I'll leave the comment right here. He goes, man, this is some straight up trademark infringement, but I can't even be mad. Like, this is so awesome. This is a cool video. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't give up. Like, just keep on with this. And to me, that was a big deal. And I remember, like, the views growing on it, my subscribers growing from that retweet Greg gave me and the comment he left. And I remember, like, my family gathering around and being like, oh, this is so cool. Like we're getting views. And, my mom was so proud of me. And it was such a weird thing to feel at the time. Just because, like, I haven't had that, like, moment at that time yet. And, like, everyone was just, like, super happy for me. And then there's my brother, all the hate comments that I was getting. My brother was like, these guys are great. Like, these guys who are just talking shit on you are hilarious. He's like, I'm going to make a YouTube account just to, like, talk shit on you with these guys in the comments, which is funny because my brother's like a 90-year-old man in a 30-year-old's body. Like, he doesn't know how to technology at all. Anyway, getting way off track. I'm so sorry. So that was my first moment where I was like, yes, like, switches on. I'm like, yes, I'm all in on this. So I did a couple more videos for that channel. Life got busy, girls got involved, you know, the usual high school stuff. My last video was like the PS4 midnight release. So that's a little later on. So then I get through high school. It's college time. I'm going to go to the Bay Area. The Bay Area is how I'm going to break in here. I'm going to live up here. IGN's in San Francisco. I'm going to live in Hayward because that's where my school is, Cal State East Bay. So I'm here at Cal State East Bay. I'm going along. I know I want to do a communications major with media production. Media production is going to get my foot in the door in IGN. I'm going to be on the video team on IGN. I know being up here, I'd be able to go to events like PSX. I'd be able to go to IGN house parties, the live Beyond events. I wanted to do it all. I wanted to be in these guys' ears. So my first year, PSX was in San Francisco. So it's my freshman year. I get through PSX and I go, man, PSX was awesome. I'm going to do a YouTube channel. I'm going to start up. I was going to take PlayStation Conversation, rebrand it because you can't use PlayStation Conversation because that's a PlayStation trademark. Second of all, PlayStation Conversation is an IGN thing. So I'm thinking about rebranding. Trevor Zach hits me up. Trevor Zach goes, yo, boy, I'm going to make a YouTube channel. And I go, oh, yeah, really? And he's like, it's going to be a gaming channel. What should I call it? I go, I don't know, man. And he ends up coming up with his name, Chiptooth Gaming, because I chipped my tooth in high school. It was a whole drinking thing. I chipped it when I was with my buddies. I was drinking. I picked up a Fire Stick poker really fast, and I just went bah, and I just cracked my tooth open, and it was a large chip. It was a very large chip, and I ended up throwing up, and like it was a whole thing. Big thing with my buddies. They all had a good laugh. So Trevor, like out of spite, he was like, haha, that's funny, like Chiptooth Gaming, whatever. Trevor tries out the channel. We add a bunch of people. We want to get a bunch of people on board with the channel making content for us. Nobody does the content. I'm the only one who does the content. I eventually just take over the channel to delete all the last videos because at that point I was like, this is a good way to build a portfolio. This is a good way to build a portfolio and be able to show IGN like, hey, look, this is me progressing through 4 years. This is me freshman year. These are my freshman year videos. This is my sophomore year videos. These are my senior year videos. And you can see the progression in me getting better with the production quality. So I do that. I'm on my own. So I'm on my own for the channel and I'm doing it. I'm learning things. I'm buying things. I'm buying more equipment. I'm learning how to do things, which is good. And then I get Adobe Creative Cloud. So I'm using all these tools that like people like IGN Kind of Funny use. And I'm like, okay, this is good. I'm on the right track. So I'm building this portfolio. I'm going along, and I do this for a year. I do this from my winter quarter in college all the way until now. So I started in January of last year. So I've been at this for a little over a year, just working at it. So when I got off of break, I came back home. KB had a spare bedroom. He didn't have a kid yet, and so we used that spare bedroom as our studio. I built like the walls. I built the set. Like I actually took like pallets and I like built the pallets together, like connected them together like with a nail gun. And then I like built these standing pallets and then I put a backdrop over it and then hung posters, like these posters there. So it was a good time. I did that for the summer and then I came back up here. I got my own apartment in the Bay. And I was like, once I got back up, I was like, okay, I'm going full steam ahead on this thing. I'm breaking into the industry. I'm going to do something. January comes around. Crash is already announced. We're seeing a little bit more. I see an opportunity because Tim Geddes is talking a lot about Crash Bandicoot and how he loves the franchise and how good he is at CTR. Or not how good, how much he loves CTR. But I took it in Mike Doherty fashion and I go, I'm going to see what I can do here. See if I can poke the bear a little bit. Because I've been watching Kind of Funny my whole life. I was like, okay, let's see if I can get their attention here. This is the goal. For those of you who are trying to break into the industry, this is what you want to do. And now I'm not saying like I'm the perfect example of what to do to get into the industry, but I'm saying you want to get in these people's ears. You want to get in the people who will help you get in. Like, you want them to know your name. You want them to know your face. So I was like, I'm going to make a Doherty Report. I'm doing the Doherty Report at the time. And I go, I'm going to make a Doherty Report. I'm going to call out Tim. So I call out Tim. I go, dude, you're not the biggest Crash Bandicoot fan. I'm the biggest Crash Bandicoot fan. Blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, race me, fight me, come at me, bro. I'm ready. Bro, dude, protein shake. Like, I'm ready to throw down. Tim Geddes retweets this, says, this is awesome. This is so cool because what I did with the Chip Tooth Game, I realized nobody's going to click on your link. It's so hard to get people to click on your links. So people who are on your YouTube channel right now, take this as advice because this is where I found success. No one's going to click on your link. It's very hard to get your following to click on your link or even like a tweet of yours unless you're Greg Miller with 1 million followers. So what I would do is I would take little bits and pieces of my videos, the best parts, the funniest parts, and I'd clip them together. And I'd put a little bumper saying more at Chiptooth Gaming, youtube.com/Chiptooth Gaming, blah, 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 blah. Reroute them back to the channel. Anyway, and then I'd post these on Twitter with the link and Facebook with the link. And people watch them. Like, they thought they were funny. So I did that. So Tim Geddes wasn't going to click on that video if that little video wasn't there. The little social media breakout. So he clicks. He thinks it's funny. He watches the whole thing, whatever. He's like, haha, this is funny, whatever. That goes on the morning show. And then Greg Miller, of course, he's like, well, this punk-ass bitch, Cheeks Jr. is calling you out. What are you going to do, Tim? Are you going to accept Cheeks Jr.'s challenge? And he goes, nah. He's like, no comment. I'm not going to comment. Whatever. So, dead silent. Radio silence for me. I go about my life. I keep doing me. Keep going on the Mike Doherty train of life. Just trying to build this portfolio, get through school, do work. Doing like 5 things at once. Work, school, videos. Work, school, videos. So, my content suffers at a point. And then I see another opportunity that I saw that he retweeted it and he kind of responded to it. I said, okay, in Mike Doherty fashion, you go 1 and then you go to 10 because it just throws people off. Like, they don't expect it. So I did basically my best Greg Miller cosplay because I've done this before. Me and my best friend Connor did a lip sync competition in high school. I took the team fat shirt, I cut it in half, made it a crop top, glasses, went out to a lip sync competition, killed it, didn't win because some little kid fucking came in and stole it from us. But again, I'm getting so sidetracked. I'm so sorry. So I do that again. I add like this really tacky Hawaiian shirt on top of it, and the team fat to these aviators. Like, I'm ready to go, and just wrestling style. And I do like Chris Farley's been such a big inspiration to me in my life. So I do this Chris Farley impression because I've always been good at like doing a Chris Farley impression. Just I remember like in groups, like little small groups. I used to go to a youth group. I would just yell at the top of my lungs like a dumb kid, and I'd do like Chris Farley impressions. So again, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna run with that. I'm gonna do my best Chris Farley. I'm gonna mix a little bit of Mikey in there and talk a lot of shit. So I make this video way too long. I wasn't expecting it to like pick up, get noticed by them. I just wanted to like, I think that would be funny, so I did it. So I did this wrestling style promo. My roommate's like, "What are you doing? Like, you're ridiculous, man. You're taking this to like level 10. I go, "I know. This is what I'm gonna do." So I'm yelling at Tim. I do this awesome promo, and then Tim goes, "Oh my God, this is like amazing. Like, this is awesome." Like, and then it gets on the morning show. Nick gets a kick out of it. I got my boys on there. They're doing the bumpers. I had KB introduce me, Connor Green exit me in the video, and they thought it was hilarious. They got a real kick out of it, and I was like, cool. Like, this is really cool. This is a really cool thing that, like, it just got noticed. I was just happy it got noticed. Radio silence. That was my last chance. I was like, I'm not going to keep bugging him with this. This is just going to get annoying if I keep calling him out. Because if I was persistent, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have gotten it. I would have just became annoying. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do one more video, and that's it. I'm going to go radio silence. And then I saw the opportunity. We were at a racing. We were like a go-kart. So me and my boy Connor did like a funny little video. Also made it onto the morning show. So I'm talking with KB and Connor. I'm going, they have to accept, like, he has to accept this. He's acknowledged this 3 times, and it's got on the morning show. It's made them all laugh. Like I was just super happy about that. But I was like, okay, the 3rd time something's up. Radio silence. We go into May. I think that's what it was. Before June, April, May, June. Yeah. Okay, so May. We go all the way into May. I go to Disneyland with my family. I almost die. I hit a semi. It tears up the side of my car. I'm having a terrible week, like the worst week of my life, but I do get to go to Disneyland with my family, see my little baby nieces, how cute they are, and I get to spend the whole week with them and my family, and then I'd come home. So right when I get home, the next day, I have a midterm. So I'm doing a midterm, and all of a sudden I hear a bloop, like I feel my pocket vibrate. I kind of look down. I look at Twitter, and it's Tim Geddes messaging me on Twitter. And I lose my shit. I like freak out. Like, I'm like, oh my God, this is happening. Like, what's he messaging me about? This has to be it. This has to be it. And I start reading it. I'm like shaking. I'm like in the middle of a midterm. I got out of there, guys. I guessed on the last half of that midterm, and I got out because I wanted to see what this was all about. So he's like, oh man, like this is really awesome. I want you to be part of Kind of Funny Live. Can I give you a call? And I'm losing it. I'm jumping up and down like a little girl with my roommate. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. This is my chance. Like, this is my chance to get noticed. So he gives me a call, gives me a lowdown, says, okay, this is how it's going to go down. I go, okay, awesome. Kind of Funny 3 rolls around. That was like 2 weeks before Kind of Funny Live 3. So very short notice. Kind of Funny Live 3, I was already had my boys coming up. We already had a hotel room. Like, it was good. Like, I got us in. I got them VIP seats. Like, life was good. And I go to auditions. Tim knows me. Tim introduces me to Kevin, and I kind of talk to Nick. Very serious. It was just a very serious tone. Nobody was like in like a joking mood. Everyone's just stressed. Like, everybody didn't really want it. So I read that, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like, don't be fanboy. Never be fanboy. But I was like, okay, I'm not gonna be fanboy. Like, I'm gonna keep it down. I'm gonna chill and just chill here. Wait for my part to come up. So I'm talking to Spencer. I just want to see how it was all built, too. This first day of rehearsal, I didn't really have to go. I wanted to go because not only get my face recognized, but I wanted to see how the production gets put on. I'm there. I get introduced to Cool Greg and Kevin's brother. So I'm basically talking to them the whole time. Awesome people. Shout out to Spencer and shout out to Cool Greg. They were keeping me company the whole time. I was talking to them. I was just getting, like, really good friends with Spencer. Just chopping up the whole time. But while I was doing this, the people who didn't know who I was at the time, like Greg didn't know who I was, Andy didn't know who I was, they just thought Spencer brought a friend. So the whole time they don't know I'm going on stage. Rehearsals wraps up. They don't get to my part because they just ran out of time. They're not going to rehearse my part. Whatever. Cool. I was just there to like be there. Nobody knows who I am. Like, nobody. So then the second day comes around. I come in for rehearsals. I sneak away. I break away from my group and everybody in the community. And I come in. I'm backstage. Everyone keeps looking at me. Like, who's not Tim and Kevin and Greg and Spencer. Cool Greg and Spencer. And it's just weird. And the vibe is very much like, don't fuck with me. Like, this is like, we're like serious. Like, we're stressed. Or like in Andy's case, he seemed really nervous. So like, I didn't want to like stir up anything. But like, they kept kind of like looking at me like, okay, like, this is cool. Like, Spencer brought a friend. Like, why is Spencer back here? And when it was my part to go on rehearsals, everyone was like, oh, Spencer's friend's going on stage. They're like, that's kind of weird. And then it kind of clicked with them after, like, oh, this is the Double D kid. Like, he's not just Spencer's friend, just randomly standing back here and going on stage. Like, Andy said he just thought it was so weird. He's like, oh, like, Spencer's friend's going on stage. Like, that's a weird choice. Like, why would we put Spencer's friend on stage? So they realize who I am, and it's almost showtime. So, like, again, everyone's, like, kind of, like, nervous, whatever. Backstage is good. I got to see basically the show before everybody else. I got to see all the surprises. Kevin is just chopping up with me the whole time, just talking to me about everything. Like, Kevin was, like, super cool the whole time because, like, I was super nervous to go on stage, and I was just trying to shake it off. I kept telling people, like, what I was going to do, like, just because I was stupid and I couldn't think. And I was like, hey, Andy, like, this is what I'm going to do, and blah, 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 blah. Just because I wanted to say it, because in rehearsals, I bombed. I was terrible in rehearsals. Like, I choked. I just went out there and I saw nobody, and it was silent. And I looked at Greg, I looked at Andy, I looked at Greg, I looked at Andy, and then I looked at Tim. I was like, I just shook my head, and I was like stuttering through the whole thing, and I didn't even like really yell, and I was just like, oh man, like, this was bad. Like, I bombed. Like, it wasn't good. And they all knew. They're like, oh, what did we get ourselves into? Like, this kid's gonna mess it up. So we're there. I'm about to go on again for real this time in front of 1,000 best friends. And I'm super nervous. Kevin's talking to me the whole time. It's keeping me calm. I keep telling people, like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this, because I was afraid if I didn't say that, I wasn't gonna do what I said I'm gonna do. So it's getting close to my part. I meet the Game Attack guys. I'm shaking their hands. I meet Fran. Like, it's cool. It's lit. I'm gaining my confidence to go on. I change. I get my wardrobe. I'm about ready to go on. Greg comes up to me and he goes, hey, this is a big day for us. Like, don't fuck this up. Like, like, he was just like, don't mess this up for us. And I was like, fuck. So I'm like, okay, cool. Great. Now this is even more pressure. Thanks, Greg. You really helped me out here, man. This is going to be really nerve-wracking for me. So I go out and I just black out. Like, I go up, I remember the intro, I yell, I talk some shit about Game Attack, and then I get off stage. That's all I remember, guys. I seriously, like, I don't have video of it, so I don't even know, like, how I did really. You guys said I did good. I don't know. I blacked out. I went on stage, blacked out, came off, and I was like, oh, like, what just happened? And then, that was Kind of Funny Live 3, and it was super cool talking to everybody backstage. I got to meet Harley. I got to hang out with Fran backstage. I got to meet all these cool people and just hang out. And so many of you were so nice to me. Shout out to Ian. Ian, he works for Irrational Passions. I got off stage and I was kind of in the exit door waiting for my friends, and he came up to me. He gave me a big hug, and he was like, man, you killed it. Like, blah, blah, blah. You're going to make it. Like, you guys were so supportive of me, and, like, that seriously, like, encouraged me so much. It made me want to go after and do chip tooth gaming even harder than I was doing. So Kind of Funny Live 3 was, like, crazy awesome for me. Unbelievable. I was like, man, June is, like, the best month of my life. And I just the love and support you guys showed me as a community for Kind of Funny's community. I was like, man, this is awesome. I was like, I don't want to kill the momentum. Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy is coming out. I'm going to go on Gamescast. How I'm going to go on Gamescast? Well, I was saving up for equipment. I have half my equipment. I needed I had about $3,000 more to spend on equipment. I need a recorder. I need actual podcast mics. Like, I need things for the channel. But I figured I don't want to lose the momentum. And the reason I have that money is financial aid. Like, I put that chunk of financial aid away for equipment. and I go, you know what? I'm going to go on the Kind of Funny Games cast. Because Crash Bandicoot's coming up. I want to go in and talk about Crash Bandicoot. Like, that's my goal. Because that's the thing I can talk about most with the best knowledge to my ability and the best knowledge I have. So I put in my request to go to the Gamescast, my donation. I get on the Gamescast. It moves around a couple times, and finally we settle on a date. It was right before Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy, comes out, like right when the embargo breaks, which was awesome. Tim got me a review copy, which was super cool. I was able to cut a review for Chiptooth Gaming. I was able to do my first review embargo, hit my first review embargo. It was super cool. I got to play the game that I love early before everybody, like a week before. I was super stoked on it. So then it's the day of the Gamescast. I'm nervous, for one, just to see how like everything goes. Am I gonna choke? Am I not gonna talk? Like, I'm going through my head. Okay, I've seen Patreon guests who don't really talk too much, and then I've seen Patreon guests who've killed it. Shout out to Tom Bach. He killed it on his Patreon episode, and everyone ripped him to shreds. So I was like, either way, I feel like this is gonna go bad for me. Like, no one's gonna like this. So I go in. Cool Greg's there. Me and Cool Greg are homies, whatever. I was gonna bring him a pack of Newports because Newports were just banned. Flavored tobacco was just banned in San Francisco. So Kevin and Cool Greg, I had 2 packs of Newports I was gonna bring. Forgot them. I was up till 5 that morning of the night of the Gamescast. I was up till 5 editing the Crash Bandicoot review because I wanted to get it out. I wanted to hit that 7 a.m. embargo. So I was up till 5. I got like 4 hours sleep. Got on Barted over to the studio, and I was nervous. I was tired. I had a notebook with all my notes in it, like what I'm going to talk about, just because I didn't want to forget. And I wanted to talk during the Gamescast because it's a podcast. I get there. They already know me. We've already warmed up to each other a bit. So it's super cool. I'm there. I'm chilling. I'm teaching Nick how to use a Mac because apparently he's just really old and doesn't know how to use technology, and it just breaks on him. It was being really weird. So I was like an hour of helping Nick learn how to do a Mac, which we didn't even learn. Like, it just wasn't working because technology hates Nick. I got to watch the morning show live. I got to see them do their Spider-Man's reacts. I hung out with Cool Greg, talked with Cool Greg a little bit, talked to Kevin, talked to Nick, talked to Greg, just talked to everybody. And then we went out to dinner, and dinner was awesome. Like, we went to Outback, of course, Kind of Funny special. And it was just funny. It was just, I felt like, not that I belonged, but that I was blending in. I was fooling them enough, like, okay, I'm not a fan. Like, I could remove myself a little bit, like, and act professional to a point. Because that's always my worry. I'm always afraid that I'm going to be a little too fanboy around people I idolize. Like, these are guys I grew up listening to. These are the guys that are the reason that I want to do this and why I'm doing Chiptooth Gaming. So we're at Outback. Like, the conversation is just really funny. We're talking about Kevin's diet. Cool Greg doesn't get his mac and cheese, or Cool Greg gets his mac and cheese. It's cold. I don't even get my mac and cheese. It's just a lot of good conversation going on. Like, and me being such a big fan is, like Tim was talking about, people like behind the scenes, like, he was bringing up names like Neha Tawari and like, Ty Root, like people that people don't usually know, but I knew because I was such like a fan. I've been so in this industry, especially this media side of the industry, for so long with like Knocking Boots and which is my favorite piece of content that any of them do. Just the backside of it all, I've been so involved because this is what I wanted to do for so long. So they were talking about names. I knew who they were talking about. I was able to say things. Like, the conversation was good and it was flowing. Like, it was really positive. And then the game cast comes, and automatically, like, they set up the games cast, and of course, as you know, it goes live for $1 on patreon.com /kindoffunnygames. And it's live. So we do like a little pre-show, like a rolling podcast. We roll into the podcast. And honestly, I think the best part of that podcast will never be seen again, because I think it was the first 10 minutes of just shooting the shit between me, Greg, and Tim. Like, it was funny. There's good banter going back and forth. Like, it was good conversation. And then we get into the podcast, and I feel like I did okay. I was like, okay, I did okay. Like, I'm happy with that. This was super awesome. Like, it was a good topic. Like, I love talking about Crash Bandicoot. I love talking to Tim about Crash Bandicoot because he understands. He's not like some of these haters out here who just want to hate on the topic and just want to hate on the Bandicoot and crush all our dreams and just say how awesome Nintendo is and how much better Mario is. I don't care. I want to talk about the Bandicoot. So I got to talk about the Bandicoot. I thought it was good. And then walking to Bart after I got done, I was like, yeah, thank you so much. Like I said, we talked. A lot of good connections were made there too. And I'm walking from the studio to Bart, and I'm getting notifications on Twitter, like people like being super supportive. And I think that's honestly the underline of this story, this experience. It wasn't Kind of Funny. It wasn't going on the Gamescast. It wasn't performing at Kind of Funny Live 3. Like, all that stuff was awesome, and like, I love that part of it because obviously, like, that's what I want to do. And these are awesome people that I want to do that with. But to me, my big takeaway was of how awesome the Kind of Funny community is and how supportive you guys are and how you guys just really rally behind people. And I think that's the most special thing. And if Chiptooth Gaming can get that going for us, if we can build that community, just like Kind of Funny built that community, I'm all for it. Just the amount of support I've gotten from going on Kind of Funny Live and then doing the Gamescast and then responding, because when Gamescast posted for everybody, I made sure I commented on every single comment. Like, I made sure I responded to everyone's comment the first 3 days of it being up. If somebody just said, oh man, you know, you're doing awesome, I would make sure I responded because that's important to me. Because communicating to you guys is important to me. Even now, if you guys comment, I'm going to comment back. I want to have a conversation with you guys. I say that on Doherty Reports. My favorite part of the show is having a conversation with you guys, and I mean it. There was a guy who commented. He was like, "Oh, he's lying about this and blah 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 blah." And I commented. I was like, "Hey man, like that was like I misspoke. Like that's not what I was trying to say. It came out that way. That's not what I was trying to say though. I was trying to say this." And I told him, and he was like, "Oh man, I didn't know you were going to respond. Like, I'm so sorry for calling you a liar and blah, blah, blah." And whatever. And like, we were cool. Like, I commented back. I was like, "No problem, dude. Thank you for holding me to accuracy and honesty. Like, that's awesome of you." And we had a little conversation and we talked, and that's probably the last time I'm going to talk to that guy. But it was super awesome unless he keeps coming back to Chiptooth Gaming. Then I'll talk to him more. But you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm super grateful for the community Kind of Funny built. I'm super grateful for Kind of Funny. What they have done for me, it was awesome. Like, this has just been an awesome experience. Like, Kind of Funny Live, first of all, like, that was a good jumping off point. And then when I have momentum, I'm going full momentum. I'm going with the momentum. So I wasn't not going to do the Gamescast right then because you got to strike when the iron's hot. And I remember talking on the way back from Kind of Funny Live with KB and Connor. I go, "Guys, what should I do? Like, should I spend this money and go on the Gamecast?" And honestly, money well spent. Like, the Kind of Funny guys are awesome. Like, again, this is not me fanboying out. Like, they're probably not going to see this. But you guys know. Like, and going there, it really solidified it to me. When they say best friends, they're not just blowing smoke up their ass. Like, they're not just giving you ear candy, things that you want to hear. They mean it. Like, Greg means it. Tim means it. Nick means it. Kevin means it. Like, they all mean it. Cool Greg means it. They treated me like a friend, not a fan. And I think that's so important, especially with people who have these YouTube communities. I think that's why they have such a good community and such a less toxic community. And of course, that's changed a little bit in the last year with Colin leaving and that bringing up some bad community members. But other than that, like, it's been awesome. And you guys have been awesome. And I thank you. Because, like, even though it's only a little bit, you guys have changed my life. In the smallest way, as small as it seems, it's changed my life. Like, just you guys, first of all, the community of Kind of Funny and Chiptooth Gaming now. Like, that's super cool. Like, we've grown 100 more subscribers. That's awesome. Actually, I think 150 now. Like, that's crazy. We've grown 150 more subscribers. I'm almost at my goal for the year. I mean, I've almost hit every single one of my goals for 2017 so far. Get to 500 subscribers. I'm 150 away. That's awesome. Go on the Kind of Funny show. I went on 2 Kind of Funny shows, And 3, get the rest of my equipment. And that hasn't happened yet, but I think that's the least important. I'm making do with what I got. And I think that's an important lesson that I learned throughout this thing, is I don't need the fancy equipment. I'm doing good with what I got so far, so I'm going to write it out. I eventually want to get podcast mics. I want to do a live podcast. Like, that would be awesome. But right now, I'm just not there. But like I've been saying, the most important thing has been you guys. You guys have really shined through. Like, all the comments have been so uplifting and just inspiring. And I'm not even just talking about the ones that are just sucking my dick, but like the ones that are like real critiques, or the guy who doesn't agree with me on my Patreon stance, or this and that, like real conversational piece comments. Like, it's inspiring. And then now I got people who are commenting saying they're going back and watching every single piece of my content. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, I am so humbled, and like, I legitimately mean that. No one should be watching me. Like, I'm just a big dumb idiot on the internet, and you guys choose to watch me, and that's awesome. Like, I am so over the moon that how supportive you guys have been, and it makes me want to keep going. And I'm going to keep going with the momentum. I'm so excited to share them with you. I cannot share them with you right now. But the big things that are coming is because of you. And I just want to make that ever most clear. Kind of funny. Anybody on YouTube really can't do it without their audience. And I think that's the best thing Kind of Funny does, is they show that their audience matters and that they care about their audience. And if you don't believe me, you should really have a real conversation with these guys. Because they care. They really, really deeply care. They can't show it all the time, especially on shows. Like, you can't show weakness on the internet, or the internet's gonna just rip that right open and just attack you for that one little weakness. They care. And I like things like office hours with Greg staying after office hours, taking time away from going home to his wife to just talk about nerdy community stuff with the community. They care. Trust me. And trust me when I say this. I love these guys. Cow Chop's not going to be doing that. Rooster Teeth's not going to be doing that. Achievement Hunter's not going to be doing that. Funhouse isn't going to be doing that. These bigger YouTube channels aren't going to be putting in that time that Kind of Funny is with their community. And you're seeing the fruits of that show, because yeah, they're a smaller community, but they're supported. They're only supported by a couple thousand Patreon supporters, and they get to run a business off that. And I think that's so cool that a community can get behind a creator like that and support their work. Because I support them. I supported them from day one. You know, there's been times where I had to go on and off unsubscribe because like money. I'm a broke college kid. Like, I can't support $10 a month like all the time, but when I can, I do. And it's because of the relationship they built with me. And this is before I've met them. They've built a relationship with me way before I met them. And I felt like I've known them. And when I met them, they treated me like a friend. And I think that's what's really important. And I think as long as you don't fanboy out and just like be really weird with them, they're going to treat you like a friend. And I think that's the best part of them. And like I said, you're not going to get that on any other bigger YouTuber channels. Like, you're not going to be able to sit down with Michael and have a conversation. From Achievement Hunter. You're not going to be able to sit down with any of the Cow Chop guys. They're not going to let you come on their podcast. Like, that's just, what they're doing is special. Kind of Funny is special. And that's what I took away with my experience with Kind of Funny. And of course, you guys know that. You guys already know that, so I'm preaching to the choir. So that was my experience with Kind of Funny. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think of Kind of Funny? What do you think about Rooster Teeth? Let me know. Let's have a conversation. What do you think about this video? Do you like Fat and Angry? Do you like this format? Do you like me just talking to the camera, being unscripted and just kind of rambling on? I mean, this is a long video. I think it's like 40 minutes right now. I'm going to try to cut it down. Also, while you're in the comments, let me know what you think about Fat and Angry. What topics do you want to see me cover? What topics do you want to see me talk about? What life experiences do you want to see me talk about? This is like a vlog style. Now, hopefully they will not be as long as this video. I'm hoping to keep them at 20 minutes, maximum 10 minutes, ideally. This is the longest I ever want this to go. This isn't supposed to be a podcast. This is supposed to just be like a 10-minute, 15-minute me rambling about or talking about something I'm really passionate about, talking about a hot piece of news that I'm really opinionated about, or telling a life story or telling a life experience. So let me know in the comments down below on what you want to see. Like this video, it really helps out, and share with your friends, because sharing with your friends is bigger than you think. Because you share with your friends, and then they share with 2 of their friends, and then those 2 friends share with those 2 more of them friends, and it grows. We grow. Just share the video. Just press share it right now. Just press that share button. Don't do it. You're going to click off right now. Just press share. Just hit it. Just hit it. You don't even have to send it to your actual account. Just send it somewhere. Just send it anywhere. Send it to Pornhub. I don't care. Just press share. Do it! So the next Fat and Angry could come this week. It might be next week. It could come this week if something breaks this week that I'm really passionate about. I'll talk about it. So until next time, players, my name is Mike Doherty. You've been watching Fat and Angry on Chiptooth Gaming.